Saturday morning, we're doing kind of a flowing practice and then we're holding postures. So, let's see. Let's start off in standing today, and then we're going to just play around and see where that takes us. So we're going to start at the top of the mat, just standing with feet hip distance apart. And we're going to actually come into a soft position with the body. So we'll bend the knees, just a soft bend in the knees. And then you can just let the arms hang loose, let the shoulders round if they round. And close the eyes and begin to find a sense of inward direction of your concentration. So, we can actually play with that. So take your attention as far outwardly as you can. Maybe like as far as the boundaries of your city, for example. And maybe just even imagine what is happening in the city. And then start to bring that a little closer to this body by maybe focusing on inner parts of the city, maybe around, the area that surrounds your home. You can have that, so many yards or so many miles, depending on where you're living. And then bring your attention so it's on around the structure that you're in, around the building that you're in. And then bring the attention so you're inside of the structure. So picturing the home, different areas. And then bring your attention to the room that you're in. And now bring your attention to the physical body, but the outer part of the physical body. So the skin, the limbs, everything on the outside. So you're on the surface, now go right underneath the surface. And then now we're closer to where we want the attention. So draw it even more inwardly until you're focused on the breath itself. And watching the breath from a certain point in the body, let's say maybe the chest. And then we've moved from outer to inner with our attention, but let's also be mindful of the connecting feature. One of the connecting features between the inner and the outer is the breath itself. So the outer is entering the inner, and then the inner is taking itself back into the outer. And there's a clear relationship. So focusing on this connection. And maintaining our attention as inwardly as possible, still mindful that we are connected to our world. So now we're going to start to deepen the breath and move the body. Let's take a breath in through the nose and then open the mouth and just release out, letting go completely. Inhaling, exhaling out through mouth. Once more, clearing in through nose, exhaling out through mouth. Now we'll come into Ujjayi Pranayama. So getting that breath in through the nose, fogging out, mouth stays open, fogging in, closing the mouth, exhaling through the nostrils, and keeping this throat activated as we move. So now we're going to start to move the body. Let's keep the knees bent for a moment and bring the arms so that we can cross the wrists in front of the belly with the knees bent, and then begin to send the arms out into a circular motion, taking the arms upwards, reaching up. Keeping the knees bent means we're putting a little extra effort, really, because we're so used to straightening those legs. On the exhale, we'll start to lower the arms down, and we'll lower the head down and then cross the wrists again in front of the chest. Inhaling, straightening the arms, reaching them out, taking the head up. Exhaling, lowering. The head comes down, we'll cross the wrists in front of the chest. Okay, this time we'll go ahead and straighten the legs and then reach the arms upwards. So feeling all the limbs straight as we lift the head and let the palms face each other. Exhale, lower the arms down, come into a soft feeling again in the knees, maybe even in the elbows, and then lowering the head, crossing the wrists. Now we're going to continue a few more of these. Inhaling, straightening, and letting the flow of your breath flow the body. Exhaling, softening. Inhaling, sensing energization. Exhaling, sensing relaxation. We're going to continue a few more of these. And when you're inhaling and straightening the limbs, see if you can really activate in the thighs, maybe even lift the toes, maybe spread the fingers. And then as you exhale, softening. Three more. After that third one, you'll just keep the arms alongside the body and stand tall. Once you're standing tall, we'll take the shoulders up, back, and then down. Let the palms face each other. And then let the palms shift forward. So we're going to move now through half sun salutations. So let's first take 3 deep breaths. This is our mountain posture, palms facing forward, feeling the broadness of the chest, pulling the belly in by pulling the pelvis in. Okay, and then we'll let the palms face the thighs. On the next inhalation, reach the arms upwards, looking up. On the exhalation, fold forward over the legs. You might keep them bent as you lower, or you might straighten them up. It just depends on, where you're feeling tightness in the back and the back of the legs. Now let's hold our forward fold for a couple deep breaths here. Letting the low back digest this position, releasing the head, gazing past the knees. And then on the next, let's say next 2 breaths, maybe clear the breath. So releasing any tension out through the mouth. On the next inhalation, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Maybe take the arms out as you rise. Knees can stay bent or you can straighten them. That's going to change as you go forward. Exhale, release all the way down. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Feel the energization of the arms, so really extend them and find that energy to lift the whole body up with that flat back, taking the arms up, exhaling palms together, drawing the thumbs in towards the heart center. And then we're going to begin again. So we can inhale and send the arms directly up from here, peel the palms away from each other, and then exhale, fold forward so the arms can come out to the sides, and then you can release all the way down. On the inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine, look forward. Exhale, release down. Find the energization in the arms, taking them out to the side, spreading the fingers, lifting right back up with the flat back, taking the arms up, palms meet, draw the thumbs in towards the chest. On the exhale, inhaling, arms back up, peel them apart, circle them out. Exhale, fold forward, release down. Inhale, halfway lengthen. Exhale, lower. Feel the softness there, and then inhale, find that energy in the arms, which lifts the rest of the body up. Exhaling, palms meet, thumbs towards the chest. Let's begin again, taking this at your pace. I'll say a couple more, really connecting to the feeling of the motion. And once you finish the final one, we'll be meeting and standing in Samastitihi with the thumbs towards the heart center. We're going to do something else with the arms at this time. So first, we're going to change the way that we're breathing. And the way that we'll do that is by breathing in and out through the mouth. So this comes from the Tibetan book that I have that does things differently. So we're breathing in and out through the mouth, kind of equally. And then we're going to take the arms forward and let the, let the tops of the hands face each other. So first let's focus on the breath. So we have soft breath in and out through the nose. So we're dropping the Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose and mouth, sorry. I'm also not accustomed to it. And it's just gentle. Now we're going to take these arms and really activate them by imagining that there's steel bars on the outsides of the arms, and we're pushing those steel bars out as we breathe in and out through the nose and the mouth, and push those steel bars out to the sides. So we're going to go through a few cycles of breath before we get there. And if it feels a little too intense, then you'll just, pretend those steel bars don't have as much resistance. So once we've taken the arms out to the sides, we're going to imagine now the steel bars are inside, and we're going to push them inwardly as we bring the tops of the hands towards each other again. Okay, so before we take this again, we're going to release the arms. Once the hands meet each other, just release the arms. And once you've done that, you might notice the arms feeling different. They might feel like they're kind of floating, or they're larger than they actually felt to be before. They might feel more magnetic. You might be able to notice them moving with the breath. Okay, so we're going to do this again. So let's take the arms forward, still breathing in the same way through nose and mouth. The tops of the hands facing each other. And then we're going to push those steel bars out. Nice and slow, lots of resistance. Okay, we'll pause once we have those arms out, and you can feel the back muscles engaged. And then we'll begin to push the steel bars as we move the arms forward. Okay, once you have the palms or the tops of the hands facing each other, we'll pause. And then we'll release the arms alongside the body. And again, closing the eyes. Really sensing the arms. And feeling energy in the arms differently than before. Feeling that expansion. We'll do it one more time and just see that each time the result might be a little bit more pronounced. So again, we'll take the arms forward, tops of the hands face each other, and then gently breathing as we take those arms and push them back. Once we have the arms out to the sides, we'll really press them back and take another couple breaths. And then we'll begin to push the arms forward again. With lots of concentration. You know, your forearms are active, your upper arms, your wrists, your fingers, everything's active there. Once the tops of the hands find each other forward, then we'll go ahead and release the arms. Again, closing the eyes and sensing the arms, the energy of the arms. Maybe you sense warmth as well. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Release out through the mouth. And now let's begin to move the wrists around. Making some circles. You can shake the arms out. I have some arm swings actually that would be nice here. So just taking the arms forward, little swings, forward, crossing wrists, and the knees can be kind of bending and straightening a little bit here as you swing the arms. Might be able to take the arms a little further back. Okay, so right from here, we're going to release the arms down and step the left foot to the back of the mat. Keep the back heel lifted. So we're finding a lunge. Just keep the arms relaxed for a moment. Settling into the legs, making sure that we have a nice, strong lower body. And then we'll take the hands behind the back and interlace the fingers. So we want the back leg to be straight. Right now the elbows can be bent. You can rest the hands right on the bottom. Right knee is lunging forward. Maybe increase the lunge if you feel like that's possible. And then we're going to straighten the arms and squeeze the shoulders back. And then just relax the arms and let the hands come back to the bottom. Let them rest. Let the shoulders round. So again, we'll straighten the arms. And then we'll let the arms bend and relax them. And continue this a few more times. We're going to engage the breath with this. So we're returning to Ujjayi breath. So inhaling and straightening arms. Exhaling, letting arms relax. So now really isolating some of the motion here to the shoulders. Okay, so we have our legs in a certain position, and we're just going to change position of the legs by first relaxing the arms, and we're just keeping the hands where they are, and then moving through the feet, pivoting to face the side of the mat, and then facing now the back of the mat. So we just find ourselves on the left side, facing the back of the mat. You have the left foot forward and the right leg back. The back heel is lifted. And you want to adjust the feet so that you feel stable. And let's release the arms as we did before. So we're just going to relax the shoulders, let the arms dangle. Focus on the lower body. And now we're going to again work on the shoulders. So we'll take the hands behind. We feel stable in the legs. We'll just let the arms relax as the hands rest on the bottom. And then on the inhalation, straighten the arms. On the exhalation, release. Now, as you continue this motion, make sure you have the chin in slightly so that we aren't jutting the chin forward and elongating the neck forward. We want to keep the neck long but stacked up on the spine. So continuing as the chin is drawn in, and then inhaling, straightening arms, exhaling, relaxing arms. We'll say a couple more. And then from here, we'll release, let the arms rest, and face the side of the mat at this time. Facing the side of the mat, let the arms dangle loose here for a moment. The legs are straight. We're going to shift the toes inwardly, so the heels shift outwardly. Okay, so bringing the hands to the hips for a moment, close the eyes. Now tomorrow's class, we're going to focus much more on beginning the new year. And but for today's practice, since it is the third or the second, what is today, the second? We're going to just bring in some ideas, which are first, what it is that we want to release from this past year. So you may have a word for it. Yesterday I was part of a thing and everyone said there was negativity and they were releasing negativity in different expressions. So whatever it is for you, think about something general or something maybe specific that you want to release from the previous year of 2020. Okay, and then we're going to incorporate movement and let our movement help us actually physically release and mentally release whatever that is that you identified. So we're going to bring the arms to a T and we're going to move into Kundalini motion. And this is going to be strong. So we're actually going to turn the toes. How did we do it? We had them inwardly, but I'm changing directions here. So we're just going to turn them a little outwardly, not a whole bunch. And then we're going to move into pinwheel. So on the next inhale, find length in the spine, find length in the arms. On the exhale, take your right hand to the left leg as you reach the left arm up. Now you might be able to take the hand to the mat. Okay, on the inhale, we'll be rising up. And on the exhale, switching over to the other side, left hand towards the foot or right to the leg. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling other side. But now we're going to pick up the pace. So you can go this slow if you like, but if you want to bring a little bit more force in, you're going to drop Ujjayi breath, and you'll be forcibly breathing in and out through the nose. So you'll take a breath in and out, in and out. And this is going to be quicker, and it's going to feel less controlled. So like really letting the dropping situation happen, where it's just a swoosh down and then a light rise up, a swoosh down, a light rise up, releasing, lengthening, releasing, energizing, releasing, lifting. A little longer. So we'll go one more time to left hand to right leg, and then we'll rise. And legs might feel a little different now. We'll release the arms. And now we're just going to lower down. So we're going to drop the head, begin to soften the knees, begin to soften into a fold where we just start to let go. And then find support for the hands, whether that's the mat or the blocks. We're going to be able to maybe separate the feet a little bit. And you can even bend the knees. Let the body feel soft. Let the head go completely. You know, if you have the head supported and if it feels good to you, you know, maybe you bend the knees even and just let yourself be in this kind of active position and yet in kind of a relaxed way. Almost like you were to come into a really deep squat. Come back into Ujjayi Pranayama. Nice deep breaths with the throat activated. And now we're going to start to press our way to a half forward fold with the legs spread wide. So palms down and the arms straighten. And then we'll begin to lift the head a little bit and flatten the back. And then walk the hands forward to come into a lunge at the front of the mat with the back heel lifted, the right knee lunging. And we're going to explore this for a moment. So maybe you have the knee bent over the right ankle, and then maybe you start to straighten the right leg. And then maybe you even plant the back heel, and then lift the back heel and lunge forward into the right knee. So we'll just move forward and back a little bit, straightening the leg. Maybe back heel plants, maybe not. That's a deep stretch. Sinking in. About 3 or 4 more breaths, exploring the legs. Okay, we're going to turn this into a twisting dragonfly. So when you're ready, you have right knee over right ankle. Plant the left palm down next to the right foot, and then inhale, reach the right arm upwards. Back heel is lifted. Now, if it feels better, you want to bring the left knee down, you can. You might turn the head to look to the right, or maybe upwards past the right thumb. If you start to build tension in the neck, though, you can move the head around and get that tension out. Now we'll take this right arm and wrap it around the low back and tuck the right shoulder into the back, the right shoulder blade. One more breath. And then we'll just release this right arm. You can lift it if you want. We'll bring it to the inside of the right foot and then walk over to the back of the mat. We'll just walk right to the other side and explore the lunge. So first we had our hands around the left or around the front foot. So we're just going to check in and lunge in and then take the leg and straighten it up. Really pay close attention to what it feels like to be in these legs. Okay, then when you're ready, sink into the left knee and plant the right palm. Begin to inhale the left arm up. Couple deep breaths here. Then wrap this left arm around the low back. And we'll release the left arm, bring the hand down to the inside of the foot. Walk the hands right to the center between the legs. Come into a fold. Once again, this time legs might be able to straighten up a little bit more comfortably. You might shift the toes inwardly and get the stretch into the ankles. You might be able to separate the feet a little bit more. See how low you can get the trunk by way of separating the feet. Whether you're letting the head dangle loose or you're supporting the head, relax the neck. Take 5 full breaths. And now we're going to start to rise up and heel toe the feet closer together, and then just bring the knees down to the mat, and then we're going to shift to face forward. So come right into a table posture. And in table, we'll start to move through cat-cow. So inhaling, belly dropping, head and tailbone lifting. Exhale, belly engaging. Head and tailbone shifting down. I'll say about 3 more, making sure that on the exhalation, that belly is really pulling inward and upward. And then we'll come into neutral spine. From neutral spine, lift the right leg behind. Exhale, draw the right knee to the right wrist. Slide the left leg back. We're going to work into a pigeon, but we're going to be here for a little bit, and we're going to explore different aspects of it. So it's good to have blocks or blankets close by. For now, let's sink in and release down and find the forehead resting on something. The focus is on the head being somewhat level with the rest of the back so that the head isn't significantly lower, and then the back of the neck is just kind of lengthening and doing something that we want to kind of actually counteract. So as we sink in, finding that the hips are even with each other, making sure we're not leaning too far over to the right, but they're fairly level. And then as you feel that you can sink deeper into this, you'll check in with this right foot and take the foot further to the left, and that'll help you get deeper. So now as we're releasing in, let's roll over the back toes and lift the back knee. So you're going to straighten and activate this left leg. And then we'll hold this for 2 breaths. And then relax the left knee, softening the knee again. Bring the top of the foot back to the mat. Just let that left leg relax. Being present with all the sensations you're experiencing. Now let the head get heavier. And a little heavier.
Now we're going to keep the legs in this position, but we're going to do some variations here with the upper body. So let's begin to come up
so that the forearms can come to the mat. So first we're going to find a bit of a twist. So we're going to bring the right elbow right down underneath, pretty much underneath the heart center, close to. And then we're going to start to lean over to the right hip and bring the left hand on top of the right hand to bring the hands into prayer. So we're really leveraging the right elbow, and we need to balance on that right hip. And then we're going to turn the fingers to face forward, so in the same direction as the face, away from the chest. And then we're going to turn the fingers to draw inwardly towards the face. And see if you can have the forearms vertical, if possible, and then look past the left elbow. Say one more deep breath. And then we'll slowly come out of this. Now what we're going to do is once we come down with the forearms down, we're going to be threading the needle from here. So we may need a block in order to do this comfortably for the rest of the body. So and if it doesn't work for you, then don't worry about it. But see if you can take this right arm and thread it underneath the left arm. So now you have the right shoulder and the right knee fairly close to each other. And then you're going to just let the left arm relax and bring the right side of the face to the mat if it gets there, or to a block. Another option, if you don't have props, is to make a fist with the left hand and then bring that left hand underneath the right temple. So left hand as a fist goes right under the right temple. And then we'll see if we can relax into this. We are getting into the intense moment, having held this for a fairly long time with the legs. It's getting more intense. It's just because we're breaking through into the next layer, and that layer is tense. And take a clearing breath. And now we're going to start to rise, bringing the head up, but we'll have the left forearm down again, and then wrap this right arm around the low back. Okay, so once you have this right hand behind the low back, right, close to the bottom, then you'll just rest the forehead down, maybe on the hand, left hand, maybe on the mat, and take a few deep breaths. And release the right hand. Now the right leg is really feeling intense. So you have some options to take a counter position. You might come into a three-legged downward facing dog, but what I feel like I'd like to do, so you might join me, is roll over the back toes so that I can release that right leg and take the bent right leg out to the right to come into like a half frog. And then just rest the left side of the face on the mat as you relax the right hip flexor, because that was really contracted for quite a while. And then maybe slowly, slowly straightening this right leg, slowly, as you just lie on the belly and relax for a couple breaths. And then let's work on the other side. So we're going to press our way up to table. Now this right hip flexor is going to get stretched based on what we're going to do next. So we'll take the left leg and extend it behind. I know I wanted to stay down for a while too, but we're going to take the left knee to the left hand and slide the right leg back. I'm going to make sure we have enough time to balance out the two sides before we rest. So once we have the legs set up here, we'll start to release down in our pigeon.
Finding that support for the forehead so that you can let the head get heavier and heavier. So now we're going to roll over the back toes and once again lift the back knee so we activate this right leg. And then take a couple deep breaths here. And we'll release the right leg, resting, softening the knee, softening the foot. And we're going to start to get ready to twist. So we'll rise up to the forearms. Bring that left elbow down, so it's going to come inwardly a little bit so that we can have a nice strong support. Then we'll lean over to the left hip and then bring hand on top of hand. Excuse me. Then from here we'll again, so we take the fingers away from the chest, facing them outwardly, and then begin to shift the fingers to draw inwardly. They might be facing the throat or the chest or the face, depending on your position. And you might look past the right elbow, create some space between the right shoulder and the right ear. And now we'll start to release. So we'll have the forearms come back down. This right forearm will stay down. And then we're going to thread the left arm underneath the right. So we'll make sure if we need a block or we're going to use that right fist, we're going to take that left arm underneath the right arm and get that left shoulder very close to the left knee. Let the left side of the face rest. Maybe that right fist comes underneath the left temple or a block. Okay, we'll start to slowly come out of this, and then just come back to our center position, releasing the forehead down. Taking some deep breaths as we watch the body experience this sensation. All right, about now, breaking through to the next layer. We'll take a few more breaths. And we're going to start to come out. So again, if you'd like to join me in that half frog, forearms down, start to lift that left leg and take it over to the left, softening in the left leg all the way up to the hip crease. And we'll slowly, slowly move this leg to straighten up and meet the right leg on the mat. Okay, we're going to bring the forehead down on the mat. Draw the hands down to the mat and bring them in. And this way we're getting the hands closer to under the shoulders. Keep the elbows close to the waist. And then begin to push into the hands and lift the trunk. Now you're going to lift just a little bit and make sure now you have the legs activated, and you begin to push into the hands to come into a cobra just for a moment. So the arms probably won't straighten all the way, but just feel the back bending. And then lower down. Now we're going to rise up. You can come to forearms, come to the knees, drop the hips down into a child's posture for a few breaths before we get ready to rest. Nice clearing breath. Now we're going to start to rise. So if you like, from your child's posture, you can lift the hips, cross the ankles, and then come to a seat. So press into the hands, and then you just come right into a seat. One of the things I love about the yoga practice is just allowing ourselves to be creative with our transitions. So we're going to come to seated and just focus on the neck for a moment. So give yourself some motion. So give yourself whatever it typically feels right for your neck, as opposed to me leading you through it for today. So some tilts, taking ear up towards the sky for a few breaths, or some circles. Okay, once you've finished your work with the neck, we're going to, kind of as a way for us to rest in Shavasana, we're going to start
our Shavasana practice by bringing hands to the heart center. You can have one on top of the other or both hands on the heart center. Relax the shoulders. Find the neck long. Let the breath just be gentle. Let the breath breathe itself. Watch this beautiful exchange between this physical body and its external surroundings. The breath, that connecting force. Maybe feeling the whole body breathing. And now we'll allow ourselves to consider what it is for this year that we would like to be a part of us. It could be specific, something that you want to do more or start, or it could be a feeling. I like the feeling idea because then the activity itself will follow. So maybe you want to incorporate and assimilate peace within your entire being. Focus on that this year. Or joy, or kindness, reflectiveness, thoughtfulness, happiness, whatever it is. Find it and sink it into your being so that it becomes a part of you now. Now we're going to soften the whole body so you can release the arms, soften down to the back, soften the legs and the arms, and come to Shavasana, releasing everything. Softening through the feet, softening through the legs, softening through the hips, softening through the abdomen, the belly, the waist, softening in the low back, softening in the solar plexus, lower rib cage, this higher waist and the mid back, softening in the chest, all the way up to the collarbone, around the shoulders and the upper back. Softening in the fingers, the hands, the arms, the shoulders. Softening in the neck, softening in the jaw, softening in the face, and the ears, and the scalp. Now softening in the brain, softening in the eyes, softening in the inner ears, softening the sinus cavities, softening the mouth, the tongue, the throat, softening down into the lungs.
Softening down into the digestive and reproductive organs. Softening up into the heart. And softening inside and within the heart. Resting there. Bring your awareness to the state of your being at this time. Being aware of how you feel. And then sense your breath again. And feel that beautiful process of that breath. Maybe deep in that process. Maybe start to move the hands and the feet, slowly waking up the body again. Might start to wiggle around and give yourself a chance to rise.
And then we'll bring the palms together. Finding a few gentle breaths. Today we had our attention all the way out around the city boundaries that we're in. So now we've experienced a deeper sense of being, and we've identified what we wanted to purify ourselves from. And we're allowing that process. And we've identified what we want to incorporate into our being. And so we're going to allow that process. And in that effort and this energy that we've cultivated, we want to be able to send it outwardly, kind of like a blessing for others. So sending those blessings. As you take your next few breaths, focusing on the exhalation, draw energetically those blessings outwardly so that they now surround your entire room and then your entire house, and then further out from your house, and then around the entire city that you're in, around the entire state that you're in, around the entire country, around the entire hemisphere, and then around the entire world. And then as you take your next few inhalations, draw all of those blessings back into your heart, because remembering that we are all connected with each other, and bringing them right back in and letting that beautiful energy that you've cultivated rest in the heart. Now we'll seal our practice, taking a breath in through the nose and chanting Om. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.